My friends, you're about to experience my internet computer price prediction. And yes, I'm dead serious when I say that I think internet computer can actually get to over $11,000. Now, is that going to be the permanent price? Is that going to last? Probably not. But you will be interested to hear how I see this playing out. So here's how I see the future price of internet computer playing out and why. And first, we should look at what's happened so far. So what happened so far is the price of internet computer was greatly manipulated up when it launched in an effort to rip everybody off on the way down and to try and distract people that this is the best technology in crypto. I'm recording this live on Twitch, which all of my accounts are linked on jerrybanfield.com. And we just had a comment on Twitch asking, well, what killed your enthusiasm for Polygon? ICP. Once you find the internet computer, that this is the most advanced technology in all of crypto. I've done a lot of videos explaining that, but to summarize, this is the first platform where you have true Web3 capability, where you can build your entire website, like jerrybanfield.com is on internet computer, where you can build your entire website, database, videos, pictures, NFTs, up to 400 gigabytes in a single canister. That means you could upload an entire game directly onto internet computer. Most of crypto right now is hosted where you have tiny little bits of computation, little transactions and tokens, and then all the real resources, for example, for all these quote crypto games, are actually hosted on centralized servers. And the developers have full control over all the data and the real assets, which means the token holders have no real control and no real value, which is why crypto is such a scam and a ripoff. Internet computer is the only place you can build real Web3, and they have the biggest research and development team in blockchain. Some absolutely incredible talent from Dominique Williams, the founder. Employees have thousands of publications, hundreds of patents. There's nothing this good, and that's why when it was released, the price was intentionally manipulated up in order to rip people off on the artificially inflated price and to create a chart like this so everybody who didn't do their own real research wouldn't look at it. But now what's happened? So here's how I see things playing out in the future. So right now, most of crypto doesn't realize that almost everything they're holding is fundamentally critically flawed. For example, Bitcoin is not prepared for mass adoption unless you use a scaling solution like internet computer. Ethereum is struggling to scale, and once you use something like internet computer, or even use something like Solana where it's fast and cheap fees, you just don't ever want to use Ethereum again. And bull markets, Ethereum is totally unusable. And the layer 2s for Ethereum are built the same basic way, where they're not on chain either. So they essentially, you lose the security of Ethereum in many ways while getting more centralization, and you still don't have Web3. But internet computer is the first platform to have a Bitcoin and an Ethereum layer 2 on the exact same infrastructure, and they actually send transactions directly on the protocol. So this is by far the most advanced tech in crypto. So here's how I see this. I mean, there's no tech in crypto that I see that's even close to this. If you know of something, people have shown me things, and one, those things are not even promising anything when they're fully developed that ICP already is doing. The tokenomics for ICP are insane. You look at the dashboard, ICP's doing 6,000 transactions per second, but what's more impressive, it's doing the equivalent of hundreds of thousands of Ethereum transactions a second in terms of computation. This is a real-world computer, and nothing else is even close to this level of technology, and this is the future. So here's how I see this playing out with the price, and you have to burn ICP to use it. There's incredible enterprise use utility. Like, this is a very attractive platform for enterprises to move on to get out of their own struggles with centralized servers and web hosting companies like Amazon that can censor them, that have full access and control over their data in some cases, or it can just shut them off. any countries trying to get off of dependence on the US, even governments, and will find ICP very attractive. So ICP, this is the best tech in crypto. And the way I've got this price of $11,000 is I've simply looked at what's already happened. So the people who were the insiders with the know, they could see that ICP will destroy the rest of crypto. Because once investors realize that they could hold ICP and it has real technology, massive potential utility, the largest research and development team in blockchain, everything else in crypto sucks compared to ICP. I mean, I've looked at a lot of altcoins. I've been in this 10 years. This is the future. And then if you know that, and you're meanwhile looking at all these junk coins up here, like ICP is crypto destroying technology. All of these other cryptos either become irrelevant or they move on to ICP to try and survive. And most of these just get destroyed by ICP. So step one of doing this, now I'm looking at this like big picture. So big picture, somebody's building internet computer to be the future of the internet. Like, that's where we're going. But the technology needs to get built out more. And people, this is what I'm saying, like, from the big picture. Big picture, you need to rip people off if you're insiders and 1%ers and all you care about is making as much money for yourself and taking as much from other people and making them your servants. Then from their point of view, you want to take as much money from other people as possible with as many junk cryptos as possible. And then while ICP actually builds the technology out to move to real Web3, because once everybody knows about ICP, almost all these other ones are going to crumble. So what happens? Well, once you've made your money, once the, quote, insiders, 1%ers, elite, once they've made their money on everything else and they calculate the time for ICP has come, it's ready to push the whole internet onto ICP. It can't be stopped. Once people find out, like, once people know about ICP and it starts pumping and you can't keep quiet about it and you can't keep people with big followings in crypto from making stupid comments about it and comments that are just completely irrelevant and ridiculous. Once internet computer starts to really get out there in crypto and people understand what it is, then I think we're going to see the same kind of thing that happened when it launched happened again. So what do I mean by that? Well, and this is pretty dystopian to look at it this way, but if you're looking at internet computer and you see that this is the future of crypto and you're in the insiders, they've already successfully ripped off everybody who believed in the project when it launched. And if you're looking at this and thinking, how do we rip everybody off again on internet computer? Well, the thing to do would be to manipulate, to wait until you can't stop internet computer. Wait until it has significant momentum, because in the meantime, it's more attractive to just rip people off on other cryptos. But once you've got your bags loaded for internet computer, and once it seems inevitable that it's breaking out, then the thing to do would be to push the price crazy high again. And then have all the crypto influencers that have been silent about it so far, they'll be making videos saying, this is where the internet's going. I can't believe we didn't see this before. And everybody will be saying what I'm saying about it. And that could be in a year or two from now. It could be in 4 or 5 years from now. But at some point, I think everybody will be saying what I'm saying about internet computer. Except for a few people like me who will then probably switch opinions on it to go against the grain. But I think what's going to happen, at some point, there's going to be another manipulated pump up. Because once everybody figures out that this is the future of the internet, this is the best technology in crypto, then everybody's going to want in. And I think we're going to see an absolute god candle for internet computer. I seriously think the top of this could end up being about 1,000x from where it's at today. Now, I know you'd say, well, that's ridiculous. It'd have a a $5 trillion fully diluted market cap. Well, here's the thing though. That would be just for a moment at the top. We've seen a bunch of worthless crap in crypto pump up to temporarily massive market caps and then dump from there. What I see happening with internet computer is that once you can't stop internet computer and everybody starts talking about it, and you look at the staking on internet computer, so if you look at the annualized rewards, internet computer will be real easy to talk people into. The problem is if you get talked into it at a price that's too high though, because my strategy, anything under $100, I'm consistently DCAing into, because under $100, I think is an absolutely insane value for this. Now, keep in mind, Amazon Web Services is valued at $1 trillion. If you're looking at something that has the potential to overtake Amazon Web Services, a $5 trillion valuation is a bit speculative over the top, but actually not completely unreasonable. However, I think in the short term, that would be way overvalued. But let's go back to the big picture. If you wanted to rip everybody off on ICP, you'd get everybody to talk about it and artificially manipulate the price way, 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 way high again, and then exit again. So I think that's what's going to happen with the ICP price. I think we easily could touch something like $11,000 for a moment after a green God candle up and then dump all the way back down, perhaps below 1,000. So I think this could be a really wild ride. And because what happens with ICP, you've got the 16% reward. So people will plow into ICP to get these rewards like I have. But if you buy at too high of a price and lock up, at least in the short term, you're going to get really ripped off. And sadly, I think that's what's going to happen. I think once all these other altcoins become exposed and ICP, the more people figure it out, then the price is going to get pumped insanely high, and a whole bunch of people will buy in the thousands, and maybe some will even buy in the tens of thousands, and then they'll get annihilated on the way down, and there'll be a bunch of, FUD and dystopian stuff, and, maybe something will break or something. But one reason ICP can go insanely high, this is something the other cryptos don't have, and this is why I've said I think it could hit 11,000 at the top of a speculative pump. Because 201 million ICP is locked. The vast majority of it's locked for longer than a year. Whereas things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, none of it's locked for any meaningful amount of time. Now, some of it's lost. But those can't pump that high because people like Michael Saylor with huge bags could instantly unload all of it and crash the price. Whereas ICP, we could see an absolutely epic supply crunch for ICP, especially right now. It looks like ICP has been intentionally manipulated and shorted. If the manipulation changes to go upward, I mean, 11,000 is possible for a moment. But for me personally, I don't want to buy ICP anything over 100 myself because it's $11 today. And while I think it's possible ICP could 1000x from here, I don't know if it'll be in this bull run or the next one. I think in this bull run, we easily will get to the hundreds of dollars. So my plan is to keep DCAing in until it gets to $100 and keep my ICP locked indefinitely. So not just 8 years, but indefinitely. And then once we get over $100, I will sell the voting rewards. As long as it's over $100, I will sell the voting rewards indefinitely. So if it gets over 1,000, I'll still be selling. If it goes up to 11,000, I'll still be selling. If it goes back down to 500, I'll still be selling. And to me, I want to load my bag before everybody else figures this out. Because once everybody else figures this out, it's too late. And I don't think ICP would be a very good buy in the short term at like $500. But sadly, a lot of people are likely to buy at $500 when their favorite influencer, if it's not me, is telling them about ICP for the first time, and they're just hearing about it. So I think we easily will get to over $100 and stay there during this next bull run. I'd be surprised if it goes much below $100 in the next bear market, because crypto investors are getting smarter and are getting tired of being ripped off and lied to. And unfortunately, this internet computer has already been used to rip people off once when it launched. And to me, the way to do it again would be to artificially push it way higher than it should be, and people wouldn't understand. Because so much of it's locked, it's possible for ICP to go way higher than almost anything else. Because most of the token unlocks have already happened, this is ripe for another manipulated pump up. So if that happens, I'm going to be selling the whole way up just off my rewards and holding the principal. This is not financial advice. This is educational material based on my research, me pulling stuff right out of my rear end based on what I've seen in the rest of crypto and what I think is possible. So if the best thing I can give you is what I'm doing, I'm DCAing anything under 100, anything over 100, I'm selling the rewards and holding the principal indefinitely. And if you want more videos like this, jerrybanfield.com is hosted on Internet Computer. This was a video for my main crypto channel. I also have a crypto reviews channel. I filmed this live on Twitch. You can chat on Open Chat and Discord. You can have a call with me if you want to talk more about ICP. I also have a new autobiography channel if you really want to get to know me. If you're into gaming, I have a gaming YouTube channel. And I have all my official links on here. Never interact with an account that is not officially linked on my website. Thank you for watching. If you want to see how to get started with ICP, watch my last video, which is called ICP Beginner Guide, Step-by-Step Instructions on how to get started with Internet Computer Protocol.